So Annie sent this to me, I think last week. I want to go over it. I just love these. I love reading these because sometimes they just don't add up. 10 dark Toy Story theories that will change the way you see Pixar's movie. Pixar's Toy Story leaves a lot of questions about the toys unanswered, and the solutions fans have come up with mean a far darky story for Woody and Company. Far darky story? Is that a far dark? Okay, I'm not gonna get stunlocked by that. We're just gonna keep going. Toy Story theories take a dark turn, exploring the immortality and sentience of the toys, suggesting they feed off of the joy children bring. If that were true. Now, and only if that were true, because here is one detail that they're missing out. I don't know if it's conveniently or inconveniently or whatever. What about the toys that were, in the boxes in Al's apartment? What about, Jesse? What about Prospector? What about Bullseye? How are they still alive? How the hell is Prospector alive? He has never felt the joy of a child before. Really? You're gonna say that Prospector was alive because of the joy of a man-child? Yeah, Screen Rant is a hot mess. This is what we were just talking about. Toy Story's toys are joy vampires. One fan theory via Digital Spy would explain how the toys of Toy Story gain their life force. Since Toy Story 2 revealed that Woody had been made in the 1950s, fans began to ask if he could age or potentially die outside of being destroyed in some way. This led to the idea that the toys feed, quote-unquote, off the joy they bring to children. So long as they have kids playing with them, their life force will remain strong. This would explain the character's eagerness to be with children, and why even the lost toys in Toy Story 4 gravitated toward public playgrounds. Thinking of them as vampires is a little dark, but still ultimately makes it. Does not make sense. Guys, are we forgetting Prospector? Are we forgetting Jesse and Bullseye? They were boxed up for how long? I mean, yeah. Al is a man-child, but at the same time, was he really playing with them? He was just using them as set pieces. But that's just one thing. Anyway. Woody has a dark side and could have been a villain. Well, he was kind of going to be like an anti-hero in the original script for Toy Story. He was an asshole in like the original treatment for Toy Story. He was an unforgivable asshole. But as they put it, Woody was gonna have like a redemption arc throughout the first movie. Anyway, every single fiber of Woody's ragdoll body is dedicated to his child. At first, this was Andy, but in Toy Story 4, by Toy Story 4, it was Bonnie that he would do anything to get back to. In the first Toy Story, it was seen how this dedication could easily flip to jealousy. He became so threatened by Buzz becoming Andy's favorite toy that he even tried to get rid of him. This is eerily similar to Lotso from Toy Story 3, who became a villain after seeing that his kid had replaced him. Though very different, Woody and Lotso's common tendency, dyslexia again, for jealousy demonstrates how Woody's dark side in Toy Story could have been a significant problem. Yeah, no one loved the OG version of Toy Story. Yeah, it was a train wreck. I wish I could see the full reel of what happened. Yeah, I don't know how the toys are vampires won. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Woody kills Buzz by strangling with his pull string. I remember that fucking stupid story. That was like a lost Toy Story reel, and it was some dumbass creepypasta. But yeah, like it was kind of remnants of like Woody's jealousy. Yeah, Woody had a very dark side in the original Toy Story that we never saw. They toned it way down. Woody and Buzz are a metaphor for Andy's dad. Fans have wondered what happened to Andy's dad since the first Toy Story movie. It's possible that the man had passed away or that Andy's parents had gotten a divorce. Regardless, one theory via Screen Rant, I like how they have to credit themselves. This is their little pat on the back here. Revolves around the idea that Woody and Buzz's rivalry in the first movie was a metaphor for Andy getting a stepdad. How does that make sense? We didn't even see the stepdad in like 2 or 3. We never saw the stepdad. Who's the stepdad? Show us the stepdad. I don't see one. I never saw one. Woody represented his owner's biological father, while Buzz was the incoming stepfather. Woody's jealousy and ultimate acceptance of Andy's way of processing the idea of replacing his father's memory. That's bullshit. Show me. Imagine Andy going through a PTSD episode because Buzz and Woody leaving him is like how his dad abandoned him. Yeah, if he had lost Woody and Buzz, he would have had a lot more of a visceral reaction if this was more of a stepdad situation, which it's not. This is the ultimate grasping for straws. Wheezy had it out for Woody in Toy Story 2. What? All the trouble in Toy Story 2 started with Woody trying to help out Wheezy, one of his fellow toys. This has led to the theory via ITM, Inside the Magic, that the little penguin toy was an evil mastermind bent on getting Woody out of the way. How? Explain. At the film's beginning, it is revealed that Wheezy had once been one of Andy's favorite toys, but was eventually forgotten and left to collect dust atop a shelf. It is theorized that Wheezy purposely gained Woody's sympathy, hoping he would follow him to the yard sale, where he was more likely to be purchased first, leaving Wheezy to reclaim his spot as Andy's favorite toy. What? What? He just slid. He was sliding out of Buster's collar, and Woody, had to adjust his grip, and then Buster jumped. Woody fell off. It was an accident. How would Wheezy think of that? How? These are so stupid. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Yes, I'm getting heated. I'm cracking a monster. People making these theories bored or something. It gets clicks. This is what it is, Juan. It gets clicks. It gets engagement. That's what it is. Point blank, period. Dark Toy Story theory. Instant clicks. Instant engagement. Andy's mom is Jesse's previous owner. Now this one, I don't know. In Toy Story 2, Jessie tells Andy the story of her Write better! Does no one proofread these things? Jessie tells Andy the story of her previous owner, Emily, who broke her heart when she discarded her. Though it's difficult to tell what might have happened to Emily, one fan theory via Today suggests she grew up to be Andy's mom. Likely at first, but eagle-eyed fans noticed that the cowboy hat that Andy wore in the Toy Story movies perfectly matched Jessie's hat, not Woody's. Put this article through that AI checker. Since the design of this hat is rather specific and we know Andy inherited Woody from his father, we don't know that. We don't know that. For a fact, we don't know that. Do we know that? We don't. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. But nowhere in all 4 movies did we ever get explicit proof that Woody was a hand-me-down from Andy's dad. That's another conspiracy theory. That the idea he inherited his hat from his mother, who had obtained it as a child to match your favorite cowgirl doll. Now this one is meh. It's not so offensive. Toy Story is an experiment on nature versus nurture. The Toy Story movies put a lot of focus on how toys are affected by the way their children treat them. This started with Sid in the first Toy Story, whose toys managed to stay kind and compassionate towards, despite their abuse. In Toy Story 2, we meet Jessie, who had become jaded after being thrown out by Emily. Then in Toy Story 3, Lotso and Big Baby are seen to have handled their abandonment differently. One Redditor suggested this was all a message to parents about the concept of nature versus nurture and a metaphor for how children adapt to various upbringings. That's kind of so-so. This one and this one, they're not so spicy. This one's just fucking stupid. You'd have to be an idiot to believe this one. This one is dumb. This one's dumb. This one's exceptionally dumb, but this one is just fucking stupid. Stupid. All the Toy Story movies happened in Andy's imagination. This reminds me of the theory that The Walking Dead was all like Rick's dream while he was in a coma. That's stupid. Anyway, the start of Toy Story 3 demonstrated how far Andy's imagination could go with an entire realistically presented segment of his playtime with his various toys. This ignited the Reddit theory that perhaps all of Toy Story is just a figment of Andy's imagination. It certainly seems like something a child would think up, that his toys come to life and have adventures every time he leaves the room. This would also explain some of the confusing plot holes of the franchise, such as Buzz's instinct to freeze around children despite believing in Toy Story 1 that he was a real space ranger, since a child's imagination can't be expected to remain logical. Now, it is kind of funny that Buzz froze just out of instinct in Toy Story 1, but at the same time, it's a movie. I don't think a movie like Toy Story, as opposed to something like, No Country for Old Men, has these underlying thematic things that need to be figured out. you know? Yeah, he went to college. How was that imagination? Did Toy Story 4, not involve... Toy Story 4 did not involve him at all. Is that part of his imagination too? I don't know, man. I don't know. Screen Rant also has insane Family Guy theories. My god. Mr. Potato Head isn't just one toy, he's Manny. Who? In Toy Story 3, Mr. Potato Head could move and function with all his parts stuck on a tortilla, implying that his potato shell is simply a vessel and not the center of his consciousness. Well, yeah, I mean, listen. There was that one part where, Woody's flailing, he's being tossed out of the moving truck, and he knocks, during his flailing, he knocks Mr. Potato's facial features off, and he goes, toss him overboard! His mouth still moves, That's not too far-fetched. Sid and Andy are illegitimate brothers in Toy Story. How? Explain. The main villain of the first Toy Story was the next-door neighbor Sid. This troubled child was undoubtedly a menace, but a fan on Reddit noticed that Sid resembled Andy quite a bit. Do you think that was on purpose, or just because, the humans in Toy Story, especially the first one, had very limited designs? I mean, didn't they reuse, Andy's model during Pizza Planet or something? They suggested that the pair of neighbors were brothers fathered by the same absentee that fans had been speculating about for years. Audiences never saw Andy's dad because he had been caught having an affair with the neighbor, leading Andy's mom to send him packing. This would also explain why Andy's mom wanted to move away in the first Toy Story movie. Again, make it make sense. I don't think there's very much... I don't know, there's not much to go off of here. They're literally going off of crumbs that are next to non-existent. Oh, it was in the birthday scene. The last one, alright? Last one. Technology is ending sentient toys in Toy Story. The rules surrounding toys and their cognitive abilities and awareness are somewhat blurred, with questions about why Buzz wouldn't know he's a toy, despite the rest in Dandy's room having no such confusion remaining prevalent for years. According to one Redditor, the answer could come down to technology. They noticed that Andy's toys were older in the first Toy Story movie and were relatively simple technology, even for the 1990s. Buzz was the most advanced toy the boy had received, and this may be why he was confused about what he truly was. As the toys become more advanced and computerized, they may lose the magic that makes them conscious guardians of their children. Of course, this is a sad and disturbing concept, since it means the age of Toy Story's consciousness and loving toys is limited. Listen, these got, in my opinion, these got less spicy the more the further we got down. The most ridiculous shit is up here. This is the most brain-dead ridiculous shit up here. Now, whoever wrote this, whoever's writing these theories, it's Screen Rant, at Digital Spy, at especially inside the Magic, they're not really making sense. They're only doing this for engagement. The ones further down, they're from Reddit and stuff. See, the ones that make slightly more sense, they come from Reddit, and that's a testament there, because Reddit's a real hit or miss place. Anyway, that was amazing. This movie should just not exist. I watched this movie, and it's a gorgeous movie. Graphics-wise, the movie is amazing. Looks amazing. But otherwise, it should not exist. And I said this all the way back in 2014 when they announced this was going to come out. I said this should not exist.
Taking into consideration on the news so far on this highly unwanted sequel, they might as well just call Toy Story 4 Toy Story 3 2 Electric Boogaloo.
And guess what? I was right. I'm seldom right, but I was right about that.